Hi students, so this is part 2 of our lecture in day 3 today on research. So to review, there are 2 steps we want to focus on when we want to develop our research question and do research. So our 2 steps are: 1. Develop a working knowledge of the topic. So learn about the topic first. And 2. Develop a research question that is focused and problem solving in orientation. So this means asking good research questions, good questions, and choosing the best one about the topic. Okay, so we want to learn about the topic and ask good questions about the topic. So let's begin. Step 1. To get a working knowledge on your topic, here are 4 things you should do. 1. Obviously, you want to choose a topic. So let's say if we're choosing a topic on food, talk about food and learn about food. Sometimes the instructor assigns you a topic, or you choose one. If you're assigned a topic, do what the instructor tells you to do. If you get to choose a topic, you choose. The next step is ask questions about the topic. So, as a guide, you can ask any of the 5 W questions and the how question. You can also ask about fact or fiction.
It's always the author's name, the year, the time.
So those are the types of questions you could ask.
If it's missing, you have to add it. It will probably not be missing, but you have to look at it.
Until you find a question that catches your interest. So you can determine when to stop. But the idea is find something interesting.
In-text citations will look like this.
Something that the reader and you can agree and or disagree with. Agree or disagree with. Okay. Next, determine the type of evidence you should use to research the topic. So there are 2 types of evidence you should use. Remember, there's general knowledge. It's like the longer article with terms and definitions and concepts and models of ways how things work. So that's one type, and then the other type would be specific evidence, specific knowledge. So that's your research, your studies, the analysis of things, and so any evaluation, review of things. You want to determine what type you should use to research the topic, but generally you want to start here. Start with general knowledge, especially if you don't know anything about the topic. Let's say your instructor assigns you the topic. Even if you choose a topic, it is good to start with general knowledge, just so you're sure what questions you can ask about the specific things. And next,
simply putting in the title is enough, but
you want to determine where to find the data. And the data here is going to be from this type of source, from the specific knowledge type of source. Your general knowledge is your working knowledge, foundation. And then your specific knowledge would be your data knowledge that you're going to use for your research. So again, choose a topic, ask questions about the
So
topic.
this is your article.
Look at the types of evidence you can use to research, and then look for the data in the specific knowledge types of sources. So let's go through these in detail.
When you download an article, I
So
always just open
in
it.
step one, this is step one.
If you press save, you can't
In
decide
step one,
where it's gonna go. So it's
the first step in step one. Step one, part one. Choosing a topic.
Yeah.
You want to choose a topic that is specific.
It is tiny, it doesn't matter.
So again, the more you know about the topic, so more knowledge here
And to save it.
generally means more specific, because
So
you can
that is
narrow down your topic
National Center
by
for
asking more
Suicide
specific
Prevention.
things. For example, cell phones. You can have different brands of cell phones. You can have different types of cell phones. You can look at different things about cell phones.
You get to use
The
your dad-
effects of cell
your dad
phones is
voice.
also too broad, even though you have the
You get to
effects
use your
of
dad voice on the people outside.
it can be
Okay.
psychological effects. What does it do to your eyes, your mind, your energy? It can be social effects. What does it do in your relationships? It may be commercial or business effects.
Yeah,
Like what does it do for
So they're
business?
saying here with this lecture is
And try something more specific.
to do like a bit of research on the topic.
You
and
probably
choose
need
the area
to
within the
use
topic
more than one
and-
word or
and
one term.
find your references. And
Look
then
for
write
2 to
down.
3 keywords and put them together. So generally, if you have enough keywords, then you can be more specific. If you have only one keyword, you're not going to be specific enough. So let me put it in another way. If you have enough keywords, then you're specific enough.
Not sure how many we've got actually on
If you don't have enough keywords, not specific enough. See that? So 2 to 3 is a good start. So here, for example,
but I don't think this is not
instead of just saying cell phones or talk about cell phones, you can talk about cell phones and cancer. So when you have 2
you have that already?
keywords, you can start to look at the relationships of keywords.
Let's get that one and then call it
The
good.
relationship between
Yeah.
keywords.
Yeah. Because you
With 2 keywords, you can have cause and effect. You can have
It's one of the ways that
a correlation.
it's one of the ways that you can get in academic.
That means, for example, if
Is
one
checks
goes up,
references and
the other one might go up too. Or if one goes up, the other one might go down. So a positive correlation
because you're saying you're
or
using
a
source, but you didn't actually.
negative correlation. You learn this in statistics and math. Cause and effect, maybe you think using a cell phone, does it cause cancer? So that might be a question. Again, use more than one keyword. Look for the relationship between them.
So that's interesting too. You have that one?
So the relationship
This looks like this is an author that you have.
can be a causal relationship.
Okay.
Again, that's cause
So
and
some of your
effect,
tables are not quite right. It looks like.
or a correlation.
This is gonna be really fast.
How the two
So you can just email that to yourself.
keywords interact with each other.
The original plat, where I had 25.
Okay, and to find the relationships and to find the keywords, you want to search online. Look for related words. You might start with one word, cell phones, but maybe other articles would find other keywords for you, and you would use those. Use those keywords to ask questions about the relationship between them. And finally, as you ask those questions, you would start to develop your answer, your thesis
Okay. All right.
to those questions, to the question that you ask. So for example, cell phone and cancer. I look at them together. Maybe I look for a causal relationship. I might ask, do cell phones cause cancer? Does using a cell phone cause cancer? I might start looking for articles on cell phones and cancer and whether they cause cancer. That's 3 words: cell phones, cause, and cancer. And trying to find evidence to answer whether it is yes or no.
Friday morning I'll be away.
So choosing a topic is beyond just, oh, I think cell phones are interesting, I like cell phones, I choose that. But you need to choose at least 2 to 3 keywords, look for their relationship between them, ask the right questions about the relationship. It could be a causal question or a correlation question. A correlation example could be, if I use the cell phone more often, do I have more risk of cancer? Am I going to get cancer? Would it be more likely for me? It might be yes. If I use the cell phone more often, I am more likely to get cancer, or no. If I use the cell phone more often, I probably won't get cancer. So those are questions you could ask, and you would look for answers to those questions based on facts. Okay. Step 2, developing your research question. After you've chosen your topic, a specific topic, and a specific topic looks for a relationship between 2 to 3 keywords. Here's the key, not just 1, 2 to 3. Then you can start asking the questions what and why. So for example, the question what? This is a solid question that addresses a problem or issue. So for example, if we have cell phone and cancer,
Oh, okay. How was that?
and you want to ask a what question, and try to ask one question at a time. So it might be something like this. What is a what? The relationship between cell phones and cancer. Now remember, you can form these questions with the keywords. So here's keyword 1, cell phones. Here's keyword 2, cancer. Here's the type of question you want to ask. Here's the what. Okay, and then you want to ask specifically about the relationship between them. So what is the relationship? The key here is ask questions that you can answer, that you can look for in research, and that the research is available, that you can Google it or search it in the library and look for articles on it. If you cannot find it in Google or research it in the library or article, try asking another question, one question at a time. Once you find enough information, some good answers to that question, then you have a good question, a solid what question. Another type of question is a why question.
Yeah, that's right.
The what question talks about the issue. The why question provides the focus, a goal. A goal or focus to the research. So For example, what is the relationship between cell phones and cancer? That is already pretty specific because you're talking about cell phones and cancer and the relationship between them. But if you shift the question a little bit and focus on a type of relationship, let's say a causal relationship.
What should I do as a question? It's just once
So
you add,
even
like,
more
I don't
specific
know, what
still,
should I do?
so your question might
It's
become
not-
why
You couldn't write the sentence. You
does
said it like, I don't
or
know, what should I
why
do?
do
Yeah.
cell phones cause
Yeah.
cancer?
Report.
Now, you might be
Yeah.
tempted to try looking for answers to this question, but
Sometimes
at least we're off to a
they are
good start.
supposed to
We have the
make
terms,
a
1,
report for
2.
the students,
Now we have a
like,
specific
tell them
relationship this
passing
time.
or failing or maybe just based on the assignments.
And then the question now, instead of what,
But often
we already
a lot of
assume there's a
classes
relationship
don't
that
have
is a
most of the
cause,
assignment
cell
or-
phones
or
cause
course
cancer.
marks
We
until
want to find out
after
why.
the
So,
point. So
The
it's
research
not
you'll find
that
in
useful.
this
Yeah.
why
And
question,
it's not that accurate.
you will be looking for why
So,
answers because,
Usually depends on the
because,
course. Like if you have two
because,
terms,
so on. And then you have reasons for
paper,
these,
participation.
backed up by findings and
Usually,
research,
even if you get
supported.
like not good marks
by
in one of those areas, you
research.
still pass. But if you
Whereas
get,
this
like,
one,
below passing in two
you might
major
find
areas,
what
you
answers.
probably fail. That's kind of like what I have seen as an instructor.
So it could
Yeah,
be types of
especially-
relationship,
So
causal
sometimes
relationship,
there's midterms,
correlation.
there's a paper, there's participation.
and so on.
And
You want to
most
end up with a
participation is
why
even like
question
if you do the things. It's like, okay, you get 10% in the course. just
with
for
why
doing-
answers in your essay.
just for doing the stuff.
So
And
a bad research question,
you
so
only
not
get
specific
achieve-
enough.
You get significantly below passing or below passing into two of those
You're stuck on the
areas.
what question. Is going to lead you to a bad research paper. A good research
I know, it
question
doesn't-
that is
it's
very
a summary
specific,
grade so far. So it
that answers,
doesn't have much of a relationship.
that has why answers,
Which is why sometimes we see questions whether or not
that
we
you
should
can
do it
find
because we don't know if it's useful for
evidence
students,
supported by research,
you know, or not.
then you would have a good research paper.
Attendance wise, some people can't pass because they don't show up. But if you come to
And to clarify the what and why, we have some words for you that you can remember. So a what question informs
you can,
it,
you can take notes and give a lecture
and a why question argues.
even I don't even know. Maybe
And because we're writing an argumentative
that's what I found.
research essay,
That went to
we
everyone.
want to ask why questions. But before we learn which why questions we can ask, we start here. We want to be informed first. And then we progress
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah. There's a lot of students who want to write the
here,
statements.
the argue,
I think a lot of students are interested.
argumentative
Yeah, and they
research question.
like I think most courses are like that. Like if you show
So
up,
here's-
you're-
here's a-
okay.
Here's some
Sounds okay.
terms that can help you remember. Informative research
Yes.
collects information. So you ask what questions, like what and where and who,
Or not.
maybe even
But
which,
social,
to help you collect
research methods in
information.
the social sciences.
Argumentative research questions ask specific questions that lead to argumentative thesis statements. So that would be the why.
I don't know if she's teaching this semester or not.
You need to know the what, the where, the who, and the which, and maybe even the how.
Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, I finally met her. I saw her name many times.
to find questions that you can ask about why things happen. And then you can have why answers, which are reasons. And then you can have evidence to support your reasons. And then you can explain that evidence. So your summary, your assignment 1, that's your informative research. So that you have your informative research skills. And then your assignment 2, your opinion essay.
So you want me to ask you the questions?
That's assignment 2.
What's your full name?
That's an introduction to your arguments.
ID. Okay, where are you from?
And
Do you work or study?
in assignment 3, we're going to put these together. This is assignment 3 to 5.
I'm studying blah 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 at Alexander College.
Your argumentative research paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't say about.
So often when you first try asking research questions, you might make mistakes, and that's normal. So these are some of the mistakes that you want to avoid. And we're showing you these mistakes, not that we assume you make them, but because we want to help you. We want to help you come to the right questions sooner by showing you not only the right questions, but the wrong ones too. So for example, here's a question. What are researchers saying about the potential cancer risk from cell phone use?
Yes.
So here's a what question. So this type of question, if you thought it's an informative type of question, that's correct. But informative questions are not argumentative questions. You want to find a why question. Once you find what researchers are saying, you might consider why are the researchers saying something. Maybe they're saying, yes, cell phones. I'll just switch it up.
A substantial number of people.
Do not cause cancer.
You can say it has.
So here we have a why question, and now we can argue this.
It has a
But it
substantial-
begins by looking at what researchers are saying. So I read about what researchers are saying, and I find, for example, oh, they're saying that cell phones do not cause cancer. My question is, well, why are they saying that? So then I might have to find evidence to support the reasons. Maybe they did their research.
People coming every year.
Maybe newer cell phones, for example, newer cell phones use better technology. I'm just naming one reason right now. Maybe they use different materials from the older cell phones. Less cancer, less cancer risk. The newer technology would have less cancer risk. And then I would back that up with evidence and explain what that means. So formulating a question, what questions,
Anything that your town is famous for, like is it big or
that
small?
finds stuff that's already there, compilation of existing information. So this is what we call stuff for information
In that, I've taken IELTS actually.
that's already there.
My
That
friend
are
was
already
teaching IELTS, and
there.
wanted to
And that
show the
skill
students
is
how-
simply a summary, which we had in assignment 1.
general question.
Yeah.
We want to go beyond that. We want to go into argument mode.
If you have works cited,
But then they
you do
give you
need input cited.
like a thing.
So that's assignment 2. You want to ask why questions, and you want to do research to support
So
Okay, so don't worry.
your argument.
This is very important. Authors referring to a study.
It wasn't.
Here's another type of question that you want to avoid. A question that is too broad. Again, a what question.
And then the,
What has been happening in cell phone risk? So that's already an informative question.
you're a native or non-native speaker.
So that's not an argumentative question at all.
So the thing is,
And
taking this exam.
look at what it's asking. What has been happening in cell phone risk research in the past 20 years? So this is a survey because 20 years is a long time span, and cell phone risk research is actually a big
Yeah, I got a 9.
research field.
Yeah, I hope so. And then of course, it's
So what this would mean,
really
a big research field in a long time span equals too many
Okay, but this is a title.
okay. So
results on Google, too many articles in the library.
your hometown, do you want to try again?
Sometimes
That means too broad. I'll just put the arrow right there. Too broad.
but this is only.
There's no way for you to ask a why question. So, too broad means can't ask why. You can't ask why of a question that's too broad. If it's specific, then you can ask why.
So just a couple of mistakes on your input citation.
Think of it this way. If you ask someone why they do something, it's about one thing. Even if it's a group of things, you're still asking about what they did. And even if it was 20 years,
So we can find it alphabetically.
it's still about one person or about one change. Here, not only is it a long time span, but also it's a big research field about cell phone risk research. You have too many results and too many articles. So remember, specific questions, then you can ask why. Not specific enough, then you cannot ask why. Okay, mistake number 3,
And you can say
too many questions in one question.
range, you have typhoons, like anything that's thinking about
So number 2,
here, anything that's different.
you have too many results, you're too broad. Here,
Yeah, that's
you're trying to ask too many questions at once. Too many questions in one question.
what is usually mild.
Take a look at this question. What has been happening in cell phone risk research over the past 20 years? So that's question 2. Again, it's not argumentative. Not argumentative. Okay, it's too broad.
Yeah,
And it's got more questions. And how have cell phone manufacturers tried to fix the problems? And should we still use cell phones?
technically in summer is okay.
Too many
Maybe a British person would say
questions.
that. Yeah.
So the first question is a what question. The next question is a how question. But really, even though it says how, is how have manufacturers tried to fix? So it's still a what question. What have they done? What have manufacturers done to fix the problem? So they assume there's a problem and the manufacturers have done something to fix it. And then the last one, should, is a yes or no question. So avoid this mistake. Yes, you want to ask many questions, but the key to avoid this solution, ask one question at a time. One question at a time. Keep a log. Keep a log and then choose the best why question you can find. So it's going to be a why question. Mistake number 4. Okay, so this time we're down to one question. Great, good. It's still a what question though, so again, not argumentative.
So you can say if I feel depressed or sad.
Okay. However, since it's asking about effects,
Say when I feel depressed, it's
what you have here is too many answers.
when I feel depressed, it sounds like it happens a lot.
An informational
Like it's a regular
question
And it could be, maybe it is a regular
often leads to
but
multiple answers.
yes, I would say if I feel
So informational question, informational answers. So think of it as studying for tests that you have to memorize things and have different, and you have to learn all these different words and answers. So
good ways to use
that's the type of question you do not want to
which is good.
end up asking as a research question.
Again, any
Remember, research questions,
like I don't know, I don't think people use it anymore. If I
you
feel-
start
if I
with
feel
the
down,
what,
People used to say if I feel down, but now that's like old slang, so you don't want to use that.
but you want to end with the why.
DOW is like down, like
So in the middle, you want to ask the other questions. The how, the who, the which, and focus on
slang, but use idioms.
2 to 3 keywords and the relationship between them.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Again, if you have a question that has too many answers, and this is too many, answers equals not specific enough. Too broad.
And do you think you will continue living there for a long time?
So, to help you review,
That's not a great question.
here is a list of what to do.
Do you think you'll
So, yeah, we're back to doing the right things again.
do you think
The
you'll
right
live in your
questions.
hometown again, or will you, let's say, will you keep living in Vancouver for a long time?
Stay specific. Focus on one aspect of the topic. So you learn about the general knowledge.
Happier?
But you are studying specific things.
Oh, okay. So you can say I feel like.
So for
it's
example,
a less conservative.
if you have cell phones and cancer,
It's or like Vancouver is.
and then you want to go more specific and talk about the cause of cancer from cell phones, then you may consider the factors, the why. So again, you're focusing on one aspect of a larger topic only.
In my hometown.
Next, you want to ask a why question that lets you analyze and evaluate information that solves a problem. So the what question could talk about your issue, which is a problem, but your why would be your solution or at least the analysis.
You could talk about food or like things to do
So again, go beyond a summary, more than summary. Argue. It's one question only. It's clear.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's focused.
Yeah, collaborative.
And you can use evidence to support your point,
Collaborative.
and specifically to support your reasons why.
Fusion or collaborative culture. That's almost
And the evidence is there, so
very good.
you do not say anything beyond the evidence. So focus only on facts. So facts only. And let me add to that, relevant facts only. So only facts that explain the reasons why. And a why question is never a yes or no question. Yes or no, you can ask before the why, but it's why not? Why do you think this? So why always has reasons for it.
Okay, so let's look at that. So I think you said one of the best things in Vancouver is a fusion or collaborative culture.
Now, here is an example of a good research question. And then we'll end with this one.
Opportunity to
Okay, so the topic is cell phone use in cancer. So let's take a look at the question. It says, considering the available research on microwave and brain cancer. So here is part of the sentence is the information that the writer has already gathered information to help focus. So the focus here is microwaves from cell phones
Okay.
and a specific type of cancer, brain cancer, because you put your cell phone next to your head most of the time. And then here, even though it's a what question, it's a prudent course for parents. So here it's a specific action
POW is prisoner of war. Usually.
about parents. So what should parents do
And you can say like, and you said something about the food, so and
about children using their cell phones? So, yes, here is a what question. So the next step here about the specific action is to say why perhaps parents should, let's say, prudent course of action. So maybe regulate their children's cell phone use. So here, if you end up with a why question specifically about parents regulating their children's use of cell phones, maybe because the microwaves from the cell phones, if you use too much, would put you more at risk at brain cancer. That provides a solution to the question, what is a prudent course of action? What is a good thing to do for parents to do to, protect their children? So here you have the research question, why should parents regulate their children's cell phone use? Okay, and one of the reasons is, well, it puts them at risk of brain cancer. So then you can have reasons why, and those reasons would be reasons on
it's not necessary.
microwaves,
With this,
and
point of view,
that would lead to
is that,
brain
like,
cancer.
The people is probably going to expand the viewpoint more than.
Okay, so we will review this concept of asking research questions as we go, but today was an overview on how to ask research questions. So for your homework
And then also,
this week, read on your course pack pages 98 to 107, so it provides you some more practice and skills for research, and then prepare a topic for your research proposal.
Okay.
Ignore the due date here, and prepare your research proposal for week 4. So that's next week. This week is going to be your midterm, so focus on that. Focus on your midterm this week.
Vocabulary words that you're using pretty well, but definitely, keep practicing that.
This week. And that's coming up on Friday. So we have more information on that. You'll be writing a summary and a opinion essay on a new article.
With writing?
Okay, if you have any questions, you can post your questions on Canvas.
Yeah, bring it in.
Or you can email me
You
directly.
might think of a grammar.
All right.
Like, just to
Next, we're going to talk about
sometimes
finding out meanings from context, so stay tuned for that. Good luck on your midterm that's coming up. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me.
I'll send you
See ya.
a report later, but I'm gonna go for lunch now.